here. There's a little...
It could be because I had a half calf, no calf. No, I can't even fake that one. I can't even do that. I drink black coffee. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bourbon Theory. I'm Bill.
And I'm Josh.
And today we are going to try a couple of Maker's Mark products.
A few of their Stave finish collections.
And one old, one new.
One new.
We actually just opened both of these.
Yep.
Off camera, just to save you from that.
And we have tried this at good old B&B Liquor.
Yes, in Kingsport, Tennessee. This one came from Liquor Barn in Bowling Green, Kentucky about 9 years ago, and I never opened it since then. I could not tell you why, other than I just didn't get around to it.
I might be able to tell you why.
Yeah, there's a possibility. There's been some bottle kills since then. So as you can tell from the difference in the bottle, of course, this is a Maker's 46 product, and this is just a Maker's Mark product.
Is this a Maker's 46 product?
Does it say more? Doesn't it say? Oh, okay, nope. Never mind.
Private Select. That's it.
So a Private Select product then.
So these are Stave finish, so different kinds of oak staves. So this one has 4 Baked American Pure 2 staves.
Pure.
4 seared French cuvée staves. 1 roasted French mocha and 1 roasted French spike stave.
And so the staves have changed over time.
A little bit. So
again, that bottle is approximately 9 years old. This one has got 3 Baked American Pure 2, 2 seared French cuvée, 4 roasted French medium, and 1 toasted French spice. Both of them are almost exactly the same proof, 55.4. I think that was 55.42.
55.0. So this is 110 proof, and that's like 110.8.
110.8, yes. So they're very, very similar in that standpoint. And so we are just decided to try these both together. Again, we did try this one approximately a little more than a week ago. So I'm sure that has the exact tasting has left us at this point.
Yeah.
So we
did enjoy it then.
Yes, we did.
But we are starting with our slightly lower proof.
Yes. It'll be an amazing difference, I'm sure.
That has got a nice, deep, rich caramel color to it.
The color's there, and it's got it's holding great in the glass.
Yeah, it is.
So it should have a great viscous.
Ooh. Chocolate.
Yes. I guess those, what was that
mocha?
Stave, that mocha?
Yeah, 1 mocha stave.
So they were just getting into this about at this point.
This would have been new back when you got it.
Yes. And I don't recall trying this one. I'm also getting the coffee note on this.
I was about to say, I think that's the mocha, the chocolate coffee kind of style flavor. It comes through with that. There's some spice here. There's a little...
It could be because I had a half calf, no calf. No, I can't even fake that one. I can't even do that. I drink black coffee.
I'm getting a little like nutmeg on it. Like some winter spices.
There's a bit of spice. Yeah, the winter spice might be a good point. Yeah.
I mean, it smells delicious. I'd like to nose the other one before we go on.
Well, you go right ahead, because that's what I'm going to do too. Okay.
Much less of a nose on this one.
It may be because that one was just so...
Already without even...
Well, we didn't get a chance to do this when we tried it, but just because it has less of a nose,
yeah,
I'm just going to try it's 1 drop. It's not going to make a difference. I mean, in proof, it's not going to make a difference. Plus, that one's already 40 basis points higher.
True. So we made it both 110 now.
Exactly.
Okay, there's a lot more now without drop. Similar, not as sweet. Definitely getting more alcohol, more ethanol content on
that
this
mocha stave makes a huge difference.
Yeah, like
huge.
Enormous.
So as we taste, to be honest, I'm going to taste this one first.
Yeah, I think so. That's a good idea.
I don't want to overpower.
Yeah.
Just in case it overpowers on the palate.
Mm-hmm. Excuse me, guys. I got something in my eye.
Could be your finger.
Well, that's part of it. Definitely more alcohol in this. There's more of an oak impact.
This one's holding well.
It is.
Maybe
They're
not,
both
maybe not
holding
quite
pretty
as well,
well.
but
Yeah, this one's
still.
falling a bit quicker than the other. I mean, I'm definitely getting more ethanol on this one.
Yes,
I'm having a little trouble
I
picking
definitely
up
got more ethanol on this one.
more of a. This smells more like a regular bourbon. This gets the ethanol, the oak. There's like a hint of peppery, cinnamony spice.
This actually had, so this had 4, 8, that had 10 saves in it. This one had 5, 9, that had 10 as well. So.
Okay, I'm getting a little more off of it now.
And you didn't put any water in yours, did you?
I did put one
did
drop.
Okay.
Just one drop in there. You taste, I'll keep sniffing. It's definitely more of a traditional bourbon nose that's on this one. There's some cinnamon spice in it on the nose. There's certainly the oak impact that you don't get off of this because that mocha smell is overpowering almost everything else.
Spice. There's a definite sweetness on the front. These have been in the barrel for a while, and that oak comes through. Of course, with those extra staves, you would expect that. Not as much on the back of the tongue as it is in the middle and on the sides.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a fruit on the front.
A dark.
Kind of a cherry.
Yeah, cherry for sure.
Comes in there. And again, this is the B&B pick that we've got here.
Yeah, we're tasting in reverse order today.
Just because the nose was so strong on this one. Not strong not being a bad word, but it definitely overpowered this one on the nose.
This one to me is drinking a little hot. That might also be because our starter today was 90 proof.
90 proof.
So we've jumped up 20.
Which is not a big deal for us, but
no. Sometimes on that first sip though, it's a little hard to.
But that's really, I mean, it's really holding on.
Yeah.
The flavors are holding on. It's continuing. It's coming through, coming down.
It's got the stave finishing really gives it a interesting, because normally when you taste oak impact, it's one flavor. This has different woody, sugary.
Yeah, it's coming through dry because it's coming through low on the tongue and on the sides. Yeah. So it's got that French oak kind of dryness that comes through, toasted dryness that comes through as you get that toasted oak piece that you get from it.
It's certainly got some spice to it. Definitely more of a cinnamon. The pepper on the nose, at least for me, didn't transfer to the palate.
I'm getting spice, whether it's pepper or not. I'm definitely getting the spice on it.
For me, it's more of like a cinnamon. It's like wood sugary, like different kinds of wood, different.
It probably is. Yeah, you're probably right because it goes away quickly.
Yeah, and then cinnamon.
So yeah, that's probably more of that than it is a peppery. More of that than it is a baking spice.
The pepper would definitely stick on there. Yeah.
But the mouthfeel does hold. It just turns into that toasted, that dryness that comes in.
Yeah, it's
I'm going to clear here a bit.
It's a good idea.
The next one.
It's pretty good. Excuse me while I yawn.
We did talk for about 5 hours last night at that tasting.
And we talked with ourselves for about an hour and a half before then.
When you do a tasting with that many people and you're repeating a lot of times the same things,
it takes it out of you.
It takes it out of you.
Yeah. Being on our feet in front of those hot lights.
And you're sharing 4 different bourbons. Josh handled 2. I handled 2. And we had 3 12-year bourbons and then a 9 blended with a 4.
A 4-year blend with a 10-year.
Yeah. So it was a very oaky night that we had last night. So
I'm going to get one little sip off of this just to get a touch of it on my palate.
I've still got it. It's holding. The mouthfeel stays with you. The finish is long on it. Even after that cleanse with the water, it's holding. Got a good tingle to it. So it's a this again, we're on this one. It's a very good bourbon.
Yes.
Very good bottle. Highly recommend. So very good.
Yeah, it had up to be. They had a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Still, it's just it's the combination of all those staves giving you so many different oaky flavors to it,
and just the oak itself.
Yeah.
Off those staves that are down in that barrel as it's finishing. So,
mm-hmm.
And while Maker's Mark doesn't put an age,
these are pretty old.
They're 6 to 7 years. You can, as an ambassador, you can have a barrel put in, you and multiple other people, and when your barrel comes to maturity, they will let you know, and then you can go and get bottles from your barrel that's numbered to you and to the other people. And as I recall, mine came to, it was between 6 and 7 years. So that I would generally, it's when they hit their profile for their regular makers, and that's probably where they're at, hitting in that 6 and 7 year.
Definitely. And just thinking all those different types of oak really give it a unique experience, because a lot of bourbons taste like spice and oak.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them, the majority of them, taste like spice and oak.
This is not as oaky as some of the ones we had, as the Weller 12 was last night.
Definitely not. No.
So,
but this one,
man, that mocha comes in
big. I'm gonna play the drop too. Just
how many of those staves were there?
One.
Just one. Wow.
One. So one was all it took. You want one?
Yeah, put one in there.
Interested to see what this opens it up even more.
Muted it.
We've got a little more complexity.
Yeah, it melded it. I said muted. I should have said it melded it together a bit more. Now it came back. A little bit more ethanol coming off of it too.
I'm going right in.
Well, the mocha comes in. Definitely spice.
I'm not getting that mocha.
Oh, I got it right off the bat.
And
I'm getting the pepper. I'm getting pepper on this one.
It's spicy. It is spicy.
And the oak, of course, the oak.
Yeah.
And I'm getting it on the back of the tongue this time, where I didn't get it so much on the first one. This one's a bit more harsh.
Yeah, and I think that's because we have 4 of these same staves. We have 4 baked American pure and 4 French seared sous vide or cuvee. So it's a little less oak complex.
On that one, they have the carrot on it, so I would say it's cuvee.
Cuvee.
On this one, they don't put the carrot on there, so
it's. I think based on my first sip, I prefer this one more.
I would agree. And that's understandable as well, because this is the bottle on our left. You're right, is when they first started this process. So you would expect that they got better over time in doing this. They got better with the labeling, which, by the way, they hand do their labels. They hand cut the labels.
Really?
Yes. It's an old machine. At least they used when I was there 9 years ago.
That's what
they did 9-10 years ago.
Is that what this bottle is?
No,
you got that.
I got it at Wicker Barn, but we were at the distillery, and actually that is when they first started doing cask strength. And the makers, let's see, this was the maker's 46 cask strength, and they did not do labels at that point. So those were computer printed labels, and so that was when they first started doing that. So that was an
very
early bottling of that. One, I had more, so I did drink some of that. Interesting thing, Maker's Mark was your grandmother's bourbon of choice.
I can see that.
Not that she was a drinker
at all.
But we kidded her about it.
Yes,
everyone in her family kidded her about it.
Yes, you did. And she hated it.
She made boiled custard, like an eggnog, every year at Christmas, and I'd call on my way home at Christmas and ask her if I could bring something, and she'd say, "Oh, I could probably use a bottle of Maker's Mark." And she always made a homemade cough syrup for her and Dad, whiskey, honey, and lemon juice, and it worked. They coughed like crazy. They both lived. Mom was almost 90 and Dad was 93, so something worked.
Something was working, that's for sure.
But yeah, that was the. And plus, for you young people out there, you can put a pencil mark on the side of the bottle, so that you know exactly what was in it when you started, and you know exactly how much water to put back in it to get it back up to the level where it was. And you can also see the pencil marks that your mom puts on the bottle. The problem is that when you get older and you ask to see it when you're at their house and you say, "Hey, could I have a drink?" Sure, that's going to be the bottle you drink out of. Just remember that. You're going to get watered down bourbon.
This one, I've got an easy winner. Easy winners right here. They are similar in a sense that you get the same oak diversity. This one gives you a more dry mouthfeel than this, which is strange because that's not usually something that I prefer. But I prefer our pick from B&B over this one as of right now.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say, my second sip here, this one's
growing on you a little.
Growing on me a little bit.
So I've taken 2 out of that one.
Now this one is definitely drier. This is definitely drier, and it dries out the longer you go with it. But and combine the two. And again, I think I agree with you. This would be of the two that comes on top.
I think there's an underlying level of sweetness on this one.
Mm-hmm.
This does not have.
Yeah, and I think there's probably a reason that they take away the mocha, that they took the mocha out of their option, because it's not even an option in the profiles anymore.
Yeah.
The roasted French Mendiant has a milk chocolate, coffee, and dried fruit. I would say that the mocha was just probably a bit too strong.
Now I have seen some. This is obviously a barrel pick. It's a little different of a label than we see in North Carolina for these.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen mocha as an option on some that are still sitting on shelves. So they could just be an older bottle left over.
And this one was pretty new. Now it was still around. This was actually a toast to TC, so it was
sometime this year.
This is after January.
Yeah.
Now it was, of course, blended and everything prior to
beforehand. Yeah. Yeah. This is a tough rating because
this comes in. I mean, that mocha still comes through even after I combine the two of them. Yeah, put them together and see what you. Now you've got quite a bit more of the mocha, so you're definitely going to get. You might even want to pour more of the new one into that glass. So I'm even going to add a couple of drops to this one.
It's still there.
Tone it.
I just wish that note on the nose transferred a little bit more to the palate. Because if it was transferred to the palate even a touch, that would be a clear winner.
Drop a Ghirardelli, 80% cacao on there and see what happened. Put the two of them together. Now I had a bit more. Yeah, mine were probably close to a 50-50 blend compared to yours.
Yeah, I almost tasted nothing. It's not lasting as long.
Well, put a little more of this one in yours.
I'm gonna save myself for later in the day. We got some bourbons to drink.
Rookie.
Somebody's got to operate
Or
the camera.
I'll do the old. I can't remember the name of that show now, but the kid's name was Brick Rookie.
This is a tough rating.
Not for me.
I'm struggling to find exactly where I want them to fall. You go first.
C minus B plus.
That big of a difference?
Yeah, it's just a touch too strong here on this one, and I think it really shows there. And remember now, when I say C minus, when we say C minus, we say C. It's not a bad bourbon. We rate A through F. That's a good, solid bourbon. But this one, it just shows what's happened as a very established distillery has gotten better at their craft.
Yeah.
They started something new back at this point, and now 8, 9, 10 years later, they have gotten much more perfected at their craft. Hopefully, as we do in our craft here, and it doesn't take us 8 or 9 years to get there. So I think that is really what this shows, and that's part of what I wanted to do. And also to say this, that part of the reason that this bottle is still sitting here unopened is that I kind of moved away from Maker's Mark because it was just a staid brand. It hadn't changed. They hadn't done much over the years. Yes, they came out with cask strength, and then they came out with 46, and they did some things. And
French oak has never really been your preferred.
Right, never been my thing. But there were so many other things happening. And granted, I'm not a try the new stuff kind of thing, but
Four Roses, Kentucky distilleries.
Well, Four Roses became a jam, and I love Four Roses, and they had 10 different recipes, and then they did the special releases, and then they had this, and then Heaven Hill, and there were so many other things, and then Smooth Ambler, Old Scout, and Look Behind Me, and
and Buffalo Trace,
and look at all the things that came about, and so there were so many other things to do, and I saw Maker's Mark as my parents' brand. Okay,
sitting behind the times.
I could look back and say that I saw, Old Fitzgerald as my grandparents' brand, probably, or great grandparents' brand, if there was such a thing. I didn't know them, so I couldn't say that for sure. But
they did get
I still love them,
Yeah. But Fitz did get bought.
I mean, the brands. I love my grandparents too. If I knew them, I would have. But it just kind of got out of date, out of style. But I'm telling you, they're bringing it back in. And I wanted to do this today because I'm running into more of these in
a lot
different stores, and I wanted to get a feel for what's happening with them to decide whether to buy more.
Yeah.
So, and I think the decision is yes, buy more.
I think mine, I'm going to go B minus C plus.
Okay, so you're closer together for you.
Yeah, a little lower on my scale than yours, and a little closer together. I think I really like the nose on a bourbon, and and a lot of times the way your olfactory senses work, if you are smelling something good, you have a higher likelihood of picking up that as a flavor as well. And that mocha smell that comes through on this, it doesn't transfer as much to the palate.
Come to the palate,
but it's there, just not quite as much as I would have preferred.
I mean, this would be, if you were using and dark chocolate is great with bourbon. It is outstanding with bourbon.
That would be so good as a pairing.
It would,
with like a dark chocolate with like almonds in it or something.
If you were doing a home tasting and you wanted to have some dark chocolate pieces that you cut up, Ghirardelli is a great one for that, by the way. That you wanted to cut up and use as a palate cleanser, as an enhancer, that type of thing. That would be a great thing with this. And that would be a great bourbon to do it with. To be honest, it would probably be great with this one as well. So, again, I wouldn't shy away from either of these. Of course, you're not going to buy that one.
Well, the fact is they might.
They might. You
may
find
not
one that's
find
close.
the exact same. And honestly, maybe if we found one that had more French mocha staves, we'd get more of that palate transfer, which is maybe something we should look for.
True. Yes.
So, Very, very good bottles.
Yes,
Very good
and I can tell you,
bottles.
going to the distillery and seeing their process and seeing just the history of the distillery out there in Loretto, Kentucky.
Excuse me, did you say Loretto?
Yes.
It's pronounced Loretta.
There's a song with Loretta. But anyway, I spelled Loretto.
It is spelled Loretto, but if you ask someone who's there, and I'm sure we're going to get some comments from people now.
Well, thank goodness, because we need some comments, by the way.
Just like Louisville is pronounced Louisville.
Louisville. I don't care how you want to spell it. It actually should be Luavall. That's how.
If you are from Kentucky.
If you're phonetically doing it.
And I have actually I watched a documentary in the last few weeks that focused on a little bit of the Maker's Mark and some local people who own restaurants in Loretta. They pronounce it Loretta.
Get back, Loretta. That's the song. There you go. That's part of it.
Well,
anyway,
guys, thank you so much for being with us here today.
And we promise, like bourbon, it will get better with time.
Take care of yourselves.